Welcome to the goldenarmor.com tutorial series. In this video, we'll be going over all the steps for building up a DRD kit into a finished DRD with lights. If you'd like to see a detailed video of all the separate kit components, check on the video link provided here. In this tutorial, we'll be reviewing trimming, painting, assembling, weathering, final assembly, and at the end, optional electronics to light up the eyes of the DRD. There are three main part sections in this build instruction set: the eyes, the utility claw, and the body. For the eyes, begin your buildup by using a dremel and sandpaper to clean the parts. Use bondo and glazing putty where necessary, and sand to a polished finish. Paint with primer, and then with a gloss black enamel or acrylic paint. Follow these same steps on the utility claw: trim, sand, primer, and paint silver. The utility claw is two parts and is assembled as shown here. Let's move on to the body. Use a drill and appropriate sized bits to drill out the holes where we will later be installing the eye stalks and the utility claw tube. Clean the edges of these holes and the body surface using a dremel, file, and sandpaper. This completes the trimming phase of our buildup. Let's move on to painting and weathering the body of the DRD. An off-the-shelf bright yellow spray paint is used to base coat the model. Once this layer is dried, it's time to weather the surface. I'm using the standard wash technique or filtering technique I've shown many times during this video tutorial series. Essentially, you're using watered down black paint and covering the surface liberally, allowing the paint to cure for a few minutes, then wiping off the excess. In this application, it works perfectly to create a surface that shows healthy signs of use and activity. This same effect can be achieved with an airbrush, but this method is faster and, in my opinion, it creates a more natural weathering effect. And here's your finished weathered DRD body. Now that all our components are painted, it's time to begin the assembly phase. Your DRD kit comes complete with plastic conduit tubing and wiring, but you'll need to create the flexible armature that's inside the eye stalks and the claw tube. This hollow copper tube could be found at any home improvement center. You'll need to purchase about 2.5 feet of this copper tubing. To assemble the eyes, cut the copper tubing into two 12-inch lengths. Begin the eye stalk assembly by drilling holes straight down the middle of each eye. Use hot glue to insert and secure each 12-inch layer of copper tubing. Slide the sections of plastic conduit over the copper wiring and hot glue them, butted right up against the eyes. Your DRD has an exposed panel on its side. This needs to be detailed with some electronic guts. Use the excess ribbed plastic tubing and the provided wires. Hot glue these parts from the interior and detail to your heart's content. We'll now need to create a mount for the eyes. I do this here by using a scrap of wood cut into 3 sections, 2 that are glued on the sides of the eye stalk holes. These serve as risers for the third piece, which is laid straight across the top. Essentially, what we're doing is creating a mounting beam for the copper tubes. Drill holes straight down the wood from the exterior of the DRD body. Now you can insert the eye stalks and hot glue from the interior to secure them. Please note, if you're planning on installing electronics, which I'll be covering here next, be sure to leave the hollow tube unobstructed. Your kit comes with 2 clear cast eye lenses. These are now hot glued in place to complete the eyes. The last step is giving any necessary paint touch-ups. Clear coat your model to protect it, and voila, you're finished. Before I wrap up this tutorial, I'm going to show you a technique I devised to install LEDs into the eyes. Back up a few steps to where we just finished hot gluing the eye stalks to the wooden mount. What you want to do is fish your LED wiring up the tubing and leave it exposed at both ends. The electronic kit I'm using is provided by Voodoo Effects. It comes complete with a custom-made circuit board, plenty of wiring, shrink tubing, a battery clip, an on-off toggle switch, resistors, and fully detailed instructions. This is an awesome kit, and Randy does a great job with these. I'm not going to spend a lot of time reviewing each step to assembling these electronics. Just be sure to follow the instructions thoroughly, and in the end, the kit yields 2 hyper-bright white LEDs that can be controlled with the toggle switch. Attach the LEDs to the ends of the eyes, and the other exposed wires to the circuit board. The on-off toggle switch can be located anywhere on your model, but I decided to install it in the exposed panel area because it's easy to access on and off. Use hot glue to secure the battery and wiring. Tidy up any loose ends, and then we can install the lenses. I use sandpaper to scuff the bottom of the lenses to scatter the light a little better. The LEDs provided in this kit are 5mm, so drill a 5mm hole in each lens, hot glue the LED in place, and then hot glue the entire lens assembly into the eye opening. Feel free to customize this model any way you'd like. A future tutorial will take this build up to a new level, adding a remote control capability, so stay tuned. I hope this video helped you achieve your build up. Be sure to subscribe to my channel to see future tutorials.